Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the March 3rd edition, 2021 of Zilla Sports Network's Hoops Hysteria. I'm your fearless host, Mr. Kwafo Adakwa, aka Spartanzilla in the DFS streets, welcoming you into a already crazy start to All-Star Weekend. Basically, we got today and got tomorrow in the NBA. Pretty wild, pretty fun and crazy. We're gonna break down the slate for you as we always do on Wednesdays. Much love to all of you who watch the show. Very much appreciated having people in and getting in the mix and involved with Zilla Sports Network. So we appreciate that profusely. My love knows no bounds to all of you who have rocked with us for about 7 months now over at Zilla Sports Network. So appreciate that. Love what's happening with our members over in our Discord. If you too want to be a member for the mere price of $9.99 US, you could become a member of what we got going and what we got cooking over at Zilla Sports Network for the people. We do it for the people. Grinding out NBA, college basketball. I see people talking about March Madness in the chat. Yeah, we did all right. We took down one of the good GPPs FanDuel had. We took that down last week, so that was a nice little bankroll booster. We do it all. Sports betting, hit parlays, consecutive nights, 3-team, 4-team parlays. We got your sports betting. We got we got your. That's funny, Kenny. I like that. We got your sports turn. We got your sports betting from a variety of different angles. Hitting college basketball. We're gonna do some pretty good stuff, I think, associated with conference tournament week next week. Try to really dive in there for our members. Also, on the sports betting side, try to get some people thinking about the fun that is March. I love college basketball, being in a college basketball town, so we'll get in that. Baseball around the corner, trying to figure out how we do some stuff there, and then also associated with some of the tools for our members. We're going to probably go over a little bit of that. My hope is that this weekend we can air something here on the channel, going over one of the tools we have for the NBA with respect to the DVP tool that Double L gets busy, one of our members put together there. So a lot of fun things happening, a lot of good stuff happening with Zilla Sports Network. Big slate, so I don't want to take too much more time of that. Got through the pleasantries. Thing about this slate, from a totality perspective, lots of news. It's still coming in. I've got different screens open. It's a hot mess going on right now with news. People questionable, doubtful, you name it. I'm not going to go through all of it, but a guy like Luka started the day fine, then it was questionable, and you might be doubtful at this point. I ain't playing Luka today, just to let you know. You gotta. I think I mentioned to our members, you gotta just take your surefire chances right now. You can't be screwing around with playing the risk. Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble in terms of what it is we do in this DFS landscape, but we don't want to take any unnecessary risks that are out here. Minefields galore. I think last night or the night before got burned with the Kawhi news, and some of that stuff happens with NBA and DFS. But when we know in advance, like some of this stuff, if a guy right now, 2 days before the All-Star break, is questionable, I ain't playing him. There's really no reason for it, right? There's no need to even get into it. So I, when I was building out the sheet for our members today, which is another tool you get as a member of Zilla Sports Network, I was building it out. I'm trying to stay away from all those landmines associated with questionable tags, little nicks or ailments, because there's really no benefit to playing either tonight or tomorrow, for a lot of these teams. So staying away from those things. Hopefully, with the breakdown here, when we get into position by position, you can deduce where I'm looking at for lineup. So as we do on the show, we've given you the welcome, give you kind of the slate overview in terms of a lot of news, teams with limited motivation and the All-Star break blahs you're going to find for some of these guys right now. So realistically, what we do usually on the Wednesdays, we go position by position, give you some strategy, give you the famous and infamous, like my guys Mob Deep, Zilla's Hoop Crew, and then we go over some Q&A. I might even, if we have enough time at the end, I might even try to do a quick on-the-fly build. We'll go with DraftKings today and do a quick build for one of their tournaments as a collective. So let's hit it. Position by position. Point guard, for me, a lot of options tonight. A lot of options you can go with. The three guys I'm looking at the most on most of my builds, that's Steph Curry and the late night hammer. I'm going to keep saying it on this show till I'm blue in the face, till you guys understand there's a lot of equity in waiting, playing these late game players no matter what site you're on, building back late. It allows you flexibility, especially on a night like this. If you can fill it with some late players, you can let some of that news filter around you and you go over there. So love Steph Curry tonight. I believe it's a national TV game for ESPN. So love Steph in the matchup. Kyle Lowry, most of the industry has been on Kyle since last night with all the COVID situation with the Raptors and people that are out and missing. Kyle should eat. Well, that's funny. Kyle should eat. Kyle's a kind of big guy like myself. He's a thicker dude. So when I say Kyle should eat, shout out to Kyle Lowry. You know what I meant. He should do well in this matchup. How about we go with that? But that was funny. Kyle should eat. And then the wonderkin in LaMelo Ball is really my third guy. There's a lot of different options. Dame Lillard, a lot of other places you can go at point guard. But the three, Steph, Kyle, LaMelo. My sleeper tonight, who although he was a sleeper early in the day, might not be so much now with all the news and some of the injury stuff coming out of Detroit. But Dennis Smith Jr. left for dead in New York. They just shuttled him over to Detroit in that Derrick Rose trade. All he's done over the last 3 or 4, average about 30-something points, FanDuel points. So give me him tonight. They're just in Chuck mode and like let Dennis Smith do what he has to do. Let Dennis cook. So he's gonna cook tonight. Like him as a sleeper. I'll get his ownership in a second for folks. I won't move on to shooting guard. 3 guys I like. Obviously, everybody and their mother, the game we're all going to watch here around 7:30 today. James Harden going back to Houston where he spent so many fruitful years but kind of got himself out, at the shooting guard position. He's actually point guard over on DK, but for FanDuel purposes, he's a shooting guard. Harden, hard not to like him. He's going to be highly owned, so you just know that going into tournaments. But James Harden, I'd be wrong saying not to play him. The only thing I consider is could be blowout risk because a lot of Houston guys are sitting now. News is coming in, and everyone's on him. Everyone's on James Harden. So why do you want to be on? So that's the only thing. But from a point per dollar standpoint, fine play tonight. He's gonna go off. You know that. Zach LaVine, the All-Star. I think he's dipped a little bit since that All-Star announcement, but I think in a good spot tonight. And then we go Spider Mitchell as my third shooting guard player for the day. My somewhat sleeper, again, not so much sleeper in the sense that so many of the Toronto players and plays, if you will, have been touted on a variety of sites and podcasts and everything today. But Terrence Davis is a guy for me at shooting guard from Toronto. I'm all over tonight as a sleeper to shooting guard. Don't mind him as well. Shooting guard, LaVine, Mitchell, Harden, Davis is a sleeper. Let's move it over to small forward. Brandon Ingram, kind of tops the chart for me tonight there, followed by Norman Powell and Harrison Barnes. Ingram, it's interesting. I was listening to a couple of podcasts. Ingram's got to kind of figure out the role. Zion is cooking these days, and Ingram could definitely be a Batman, and someone probably does need to talk to him and say, you could be a very good number 2, Brandon Ingram, if you just let Zion do what he's got to do. And I think he's probably okay with that, but it's an interesting conversation they probably need to have. Norman Powell goes without saying with, OG out and with Siakam out and Van Vliet out. Powell along with Lowry and Davis. I mean, you could just stack up Toronto. Look, very popular. A lot of people are going to do it, but for good reason. And then Harrison Barnes on the late slate. Some questionable tag I think I saw early on him. You could pivot. You could maybe pivot to like Andrew Wiggins if you go with Barnes, in that kind of later spot there. So don't mind Mr. Harrison Barnes at small forward. 2 sleepers I like today. Sadiq Bey from Detroit. You see my Detroit-Toronto theme. Sadiq Bey, definitely love him at his price all day long, Sadiq Bey. And then Malik Monk, who's just getting it done in the absence of Devontae Graham, at that 2 to that 3 position, for the Hornets. Malik Monk, very good play, still very affordable, and he can just light it up, really coming into his own, now a couple years into the league. Power forward, Zion Williamson, tops the charts for me, followed by Domantas Sabonis, and then Draymond Green. Zion, as I mentioned in the Brandon Ingram discussion, is cooking. He is on the All-Star team. He is raring to go. Very nice and favorable matchup for him today, so don't mind him in the least. Sabonis, it goes without saying, the All-Star snub. Just gets it done. Seems like Indiana's a little bit shaky, but I think from a production standpoint, Sabonis will get you there on a night like tonight. All the metrics are kind of in his favor, in this matchup on Wednesday. Here we are. Draymond going up against Portland, who's a sib defensively. Draymond, love him on DraftKings, especially because of the versatility and the peripherals he'll get. Even though the scoring's down, I mean, he's getting like 15, 16, 17 assists, grabbing just 11 rebounds, triple-doubling when he needs to. So Draymond, very, very viable for me as well. And then 2 guys I like, again, another Detroit guy, Isaiah Stewart at the power forward position over on FanDuel. He's a center on DraftKings. But power forward for me, Isaiah Stewart, not a bad play. And then Patrick Williams from Chicago, another rookie. A lot of young players in this league that are really good, viable DFS pieces. And Patrick Williams is one of them with Chicago in their matchup tonight. Really thinking Chicago gets it done. And Williams a big part of that, along with Levine and Wendell Carter Jr. Center, we'll round it out. The process, my guy, one of my favorite guys in the league, Joel Embiid, is my top center play, followed closely by Karl Anthony Towns, Nick Vucevic. Looking at production, probably on the trade block, and the production here with Orlando is such that he's a double machine. So you get those benefits on DraftKings. There's really not been any dip in his performance this whole season. So like Nick Vucevic, along with Towns and Embiid, Jared Allen is kind of my 3B, probably a little bit lower owned because he's coming off 2 subpar games, but Cleveland is investing in him. And, Allen, very easy to fit him if you come off of Embiid or Towns. His price at $8,300, I think, on FanDuel, and I'll look at it in a second, is very, very doable for the rest of your build. And then my sleeper at the center position tonight, out of Houston, Justin Patton. He's kind of there. Another guy that you can use like on a DraftKings site, Nick Claxton at center for the Brooklyn Nets. Very, very low cost, young, energetic players, potential double threats. So like them a lot. So that's the position by position. A lot of activity on this slate. Crazy slate so far as well. Thinking about the strategy, we talked about, let's move into that. Detroit and Toronto going to be popular, but with good cause. Hammering the late slate makes a lot of sense to hammer this late slate. Let the other news settle and see where you can get in. If you're in between 2 players and one is playing later, I'm gonna tell you just play that later player right now. Just given where we are with news and such. So again, Golden State Portland, very stackable game. Very easy to Oubre's questionable. You move over to Wiggins. You got Steph. You got Dame. You got Covington. You got a Gary Trent. So there's a lot of pieces there that are interchangeable that you might be looking at lower cost prices in other games. I definitely don't mind a little bit of Golden State, Portland tonight. And then you just got to keep watching for news throughout the night. Don't just set it and forget it. I mean, you realistically, this night is crazy. This night, I apologize for looking down and not looking at the camera. I'm just news is coming and popping, and I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right type of stuff. But have your builds have some flexibility is what I keep talking about. Have your builds have some flexibility. That's going to be the key right now. So, and it should be a key moving forward for the rest of the season, because what you're seeing tonight will be a microcosm of what you see when we get closer, when late April and early May, as the season winds down, teams are out of it. They're not, going to be in a play-in game, anything like that. You're going to find these same kind of weird lineups, people sitting for like a half a toenail off, that type of situation. So be flexible in your builds, be flexible in your process going forward. Think about those late pieces if need be. Okay, so that's kind of the strategy, I think, for a slate like this tonight. Zilla's Hoops crew, we're here to do it. I'm going to hit you with guys I like a lot and building around them on both sites. And let's get it going with Kyle Lowry. We talked about Kyle liking to eat, but he's going to eat on the court today. So Kyle Lowry, his teammate Norman Powell is in Zilla's Hoops crew. Zion Williamson, LaMelo Ball, Joel Embiid, and my man Dennis Smith Jr. here in the Motor City. Those are my Zilla's Hoops crew. Again, just 6 guys that I'm, playing multiple lineups, probably play a little bit more, oddly enough, because there's a little bit, some of the variants tonight. I'm actually going to play more than 1 or 2 lineups. I'm usually like, maybe a 3 lineup guy. I probably go like 5 or 6 today. Again, not an MME player, so sorry for those that are MME players that do that. It just hasn't been successful for me in my process, and it's not something I really want to, engage in right now. It's just that MME life. It's not for me. I've got kids. I've got work, a day job, and all that other stuff. Wife. I don't want to, I don't want to engage in MME because I think you got to be a little bit more adept and attuned in turn your play. So multiple lineups, but a night like tonight, I'm gonna play a couple more lineups just because I think there's some variants that you can take advantage of, and some different spots that you can go. So I'm going up 5 or 6 lineups across both slates. So now we have reached the time for questions and answers. So if you have questions, go ahead and fire them away in the chat, and I will answer them as they come in. If there's not a ton of questions, we probably have enough time for me to do a quick build on DraftKings. I do want to, while I'm waiting for questions to come in, I want to take a real quick peek at one of the sites I go to for ownership, just to kind of see what things are looking like. I wanted to look at, let's look at some of the Pistons, guys. See what they're coming in. So Sadiq Bey's ownership is shot through the roof. We're looking at almost 35% right now. I think most people, maybe there's some people been watching the show tonight, but Sadiq Bey, really sky-high ownership on FanDuel. So looking at Dennis Smith, if I can get him, and I will look to see what his ownership is really quick. Dennis Smith right now coming in still with low ownership, huh? That's interesting. So I thought that would be higher, but right now, as of most recent update, Dennis Smith coming in at less than 2%, which we'll see. Maybe people go in different directions, but I like Dennis Smith Jr., and I will definitely take him at that kind of ownership. So let's see. Am I playing Lillard and Curry tonight in a build? I think you can get there in builds that make sense. I've landed on a lot of Lowry, some Steph, as we talked about. Let me go through some of my builds here. A lot of Lowry, some Harden, not a ton. Dennis Smith, Steph and Dame, pricey going to both of those. So that's my only concern there, is that you allocate so much price to point guard when there's other positions, like I want to spend up at center if I can tonight. There's a lot of great center plays. So that's the only problem I have with that kind of process, is going with Lillard and Curry. A lot of LaMelo, as we talked about. He's in the crew, so we're going to rock with him. So LaMelo, Smith, some Curry, some Lowry. Another guy we didn't talk a lot about, but our members got him in the play in the cheat sheets. That's Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, even if Luka goes, which I have not gotten news on Luka yet, but Jalen Brunson gets it done. Villanova product. Um, in the event Luka sits, it's lock button. Even if he doesn't sit, I mean, he's still, his floor is probably like 20 DK points, 20 FanDuel points. So I like Jalen Brunson a lot as well. I understand you might not like playing Lowry, but I mean, Curry's a pivot. He's more expensive, and again, people aren't going to want to play him. Let me see if I can get you a Lowry ownership projection real quick. About 10%. It's looking like on a FanDuel, so not terrible. You got to remember, there's 10 games, so that helps our ownership discussion. It's still spread out and diversified. So Lowry's about 10 in there. Hey, you watch that. Detroit basketball is not great right now, but Detroit is one of my favorite cities in the United States. So we got to shout out Detroit, man. I see that, Kenny. Don't be getting crazy now. Detroit basketball. The Pistons right now are not playing well, but as a city, that is a very, very fun place to go. All of you watching, visiting Detroit, very fun thing to do these days with so much stuff there. So, all right. Let's build a lineup real quick. We're going to DraftKings. This lineup will go live in 8 minutes, it says. Okay. Is there any – and there's room. So we're actually going to submit this lineup when we build it. So we talked about a lot of different plays. Let's start at center, okay? And sorry you can't see my screen. I'm going to figure that all out for YouTube so you guys will be able to see kind of how this works. But at center on DraftKings, looking at everything, let's go with Joel Embiid. And then power forward, boy, it is a wasteland. Let's go with Zion. So we've allocated a lot of money already up top. We got Zion, we got Embiid. That leaves us with about 5,100 left. Point guard, I want to pay down a little bit. So we're fading Harden a little bit. Even LaMelo, oh, that hurts. I'm going to fade LaMelo. And I am going to go with Dennis Smith Jr. I can find him. There he is. 4,900. Saves me some money there. So I've got shooting guard, small forward. Let's go to shooting guard. Look at some of the options there. We'll get some of that Toronto, that Toronto chalk. So Norman Powell. So then at small forward, let's see what we want to do there. You know what? We're going to go Sadiq Bey. We talked about him. And then that leaves us 4,400. So we got to kind of bargain. We got a bargain shop here to fill out guard, forward, and utility. So at guard, we want to go down. Let's go down a little bit. I just talked about him. Jalen Brunson at 53. Let's put him in. So it leaves us just about 4,000 to fill out our last two spots. So let's go here. Looking at the build. Talen Horton-Tucker, another guy in a really good spot. Talen Horton-Tucker at forward, putting him in. And so utility, 4,500. We can do a lot with 4,500. I've done more with less. So let's see here. 4,500, DraftKings. Saban Lee would have been interesting. Maxi Kleber. Let's see. See if there's – we talked about Patton. Let's go ahead and put him in. Let's put Patton. But I want to see one more thing before I put Patton in. Let's see. Doing this on the fly. Sorry you guys can't see this. I apologize. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just put Patton in because I might have time to do one on FanDuel too. So Patton. So this lineup on DraftKings leaves me $500 left. Dennis Smith Jr., Norman Powell, Sadiq Bey, Zion Williamson, Joel Embiid, Jalen Brunson, Talen Horton-Tucker, and Justin Patton. And I am going to enter that. Boom! Just like that. Into the contest on DraftKings. Oh, but it says it's full because we're running up against lock. So I'm going to enter it in another contest. Let's enter it in this one. All right, we got it in. Okay. Any other questions? Raptors games going forward. Yes, I believe the game's still going to play. I'm not hearing any other questions there, in terms of whether it's going to set. It's iffy, right? There's a lot of guys out, but I think you only need 8 is what the requirements are. So I think the game will still go off. I'm not hearing that it's not going off right now, so I'm going to work on the assumption Raptors game goes forward. With respect to Zion and Sabonis, talked about it earlier. Sabonis is in a great spot, but Zion is just eating. Again, not like Kyle Lowry eating, but he's eating on the basketball court. So give me Zion Williamson tonight if you got that one too. Yes, I do like Stewart. We talked about him earlier as well. Like Isaiah Stewart, just a bruiser, just a guy, getting it done for the Pistons. So like, it's not a matter if the Pistons are good or bad. We all know the Pistons are bad, but there's so many pieces, right? With all this injury, situation, you can just rock. So right now, the starting lineup for the Pistons, as announced: Dennis Smith Jr., Scream Hylook, Wayne Ellington, Sadiq Bey, and Mason Plumlee. And so, Stewart's going to get a lot of run. There's not a lot of, there's not a lot there for them to do, with all the injuries. It looks like who's also, you just have, Jeremy Grant sitting, and you just have a ton of people sitting. Josh Jackson sitting. And then obviously the previous injury to DeLon Wright. So Anthony Edwards, that's a good punt. Yeah, that's definitely a good punt. He gets it done, and he's gonna have something to prove against my man, LaMelo Ball there in that matchup with Charlotte and Minnesota. You know what? We only got 3 minutes left in the show. We can't even get this FanDuel lineup in. But what I'm gonna do, if you guys want to stay, let's go 5 minutes over. I'm gonna build a lineup for the turbo slate. Y'all like that? Charlotte, you guys want that? Otherwise, we can wrap up shop. But if you guys want if you want a turbo slate, I can do that right now. I can build with you guys on the fly. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's humor me. Let's see. We're going in. It's express. It's not turbo. We're gonna go to the 8 p.m. Eastern, because I'm in the Eastern time zone. 8 p.m. Eastern. I didn't even see. Nobody said they wanted to do this. I'm gonna do it anyway. You guys can see my process on the fly. I'm gonna do this 8 p.m. This is over on FanDuel because we did one on DraftKings. 8 p.m. We're gonna enter a tournament here. We'll go into the third. This one we're entering in is a 35K Wednesday NBA shot, 5K up top to first. So this has a slate with the Hornets versus Minnesota, Atlanta, Orlando, Chicago, New Orleans. So I'm going to go in here, enter a lineup. And let's see. We're going to start at power forward, put Zion in. Then we're going to move over to center, put Cat in, although I do like Vucevic as well. Then we're going to go to our small forward. We're going to go Brandon Ingram, and then we're going to go Malik Monk. Got 57-40. We're doing good, folks. We're going to go LaMelo at point guard. Then we're going to come back with Kobe White. So we still got 4,700 for shooting guards. That means we don't get my man Zach LaVine today, but that's okay. We're going to go with Anthony Edwards is a little too pricey for how we built this lineup. Let's see. Let's go with Kevin Huerter. And then that leaves us 4,400. We get one of the Martin twins from Charlotte as well. Let's do that. Let's go with Cody Martin because he fits our build. And then we still have power forward to fill at 4,800. So let's go down. Oh, there he is. My man, Patrick Williams. Look at that build. Okay, so this is for the 8 p.m. slate. Do with it what you want, guys. Build this one on the fly. This is LaMelo Ball, Kobe White, Kevin Huerter, Cody Martin, Brandon Ingram, Malik Monk, Zion Williamson, Patrick Williams, and Karl Anthony Towns. $200 left. 444. And we're in. We're in like Flynn, baby. We're in that lineup. All right, boom. All right, here we go. Okay, so Trae Young, questions. Yeah, he's down the list for me today. Steph, Lowry, LaMelo, those are my guys. Steph Lowry, and LaMelo are my guys. Looking at the question there. Oh, you guys want that build again? I can do that. Let's look at what I did for that tournament, and hopefully it walks you into my process a little bit on how I'm thinking about building out these lineups and such like that. So if my computer decides to cooperate, I will get you that lineup. Maybe I'll just do it on mobile. That's what I have. I always tell everybody you got to have a backup partner, and you got to have backup plans in place for all these different things. Oh, FanDuel's taking a little bit of a nosedive here. Let's see. Give me a second. We're doing this on the fly, guys. Doing this on the fly. I'm not seeing the lineup that I just built for all you fine folks. Didn't take it. All right, we can do it again. See, so we have pass lock for the big slate. That's okay. Let's do it again. It looks like it took it on my computer. Yeah, I'm in. Oh, there you go. Man, that was weird. Computer's acting funky. Okay, so for those that wondered how I did that quick build of the 8 p.m. slate, which is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and you guys figure out the rest where you're at. So basically what I did, really like the Hornets still. They're a team. They're a fun team to watch, fun team to build. So the way this roster looks like for the 8 p.m. Express, this is the $4.44 entry. Just entered it in. I went with LaMelo Ball, Kobe White, hit it back with Kevin Huerter, Cody Martin, picking one of the twins, figuring one of them was going to do something there in Charlotte. Then hit you back with Brandon Ingram, Malik Monk, Zion Williamson, Patrick Williams, Karl Anthony Towns, diving in a little bit deeper, getting some of the correlation with the Charlotte plays that you like, coming back with Towns, and then the same thing. It's a smaller slate, so it makes it easier. Zion, I'm all over today. Really love Zion, so really wanted to prioritize him when we were talking about it. He was the first guy I put in. So Zion, pairing him with Ingram. I don't think they're necessarily negatively correlated, but at some point, as we talked about on the show, we're going to need to get Zion's going to have to, be the alpha there, and Brandon's going to have to be kind of the Scottie Pippen to Zion's potential, superstar status. So had those two. Then I got two Bulls pieces as well with Kobe White and Patrick Williams, and then filled in Kevin Huerter there just because of salary fit and made sense. So that lineup is LaMelo Ball, Kobe White, Kevin Huerter, Cody Martin, Ingram, Monk, Zion, Patrick Williams, Karl Anthony Towns. So I like that. If you guys like that process of doing it again, we might get into some more, over the course. We still got a long way to go. We're just at the All-Star break, so we got a long way to go. Maybe one of these Wednesdays, instead of just, maybe we'll skip some of the other ways the lineup is built and the show's built, and we'll just kind of walk through some lineup building process and do that for you. So with that, Bledsoe and Hart, you can't play everybody. I mean, they're fine if you want to play them, but you can't play everybody. So, that's my perspective, is that you got to kind of take a stand somewhere. So, with that, I wish you all success on this crazy NBA night. Crazy night. Thank you for watching Zilla Sports Network's Hoops Hysteria. That's what we do every Wednesday, 6:30 East to 7, right up to lock. Questions, if you have them for me, I'm at Spartanzilla on Twitter. I'm at Zilla Sports Network, also on Twitter. Same on Instagram. The website, www.zillasportsnetwork.com, and that's how you become a member to get inside of our Discord, which is glorious. So appreciate you guys listening. Stay safe. Rest up. All-Star break. Recharge your batteries. Read some books. Do some stuff like that. And we'll get it again next week for more fun and excitement with Hoops Hysteria. So peace and be profitable tonight on this Wednesday.